comfortably. But I do want to talk about Rashford because this has been a big week for Rashford. I think, you know, when you've got Monday Night Football, Carragher, and you've got Match of the Day highlighting his lack of running, and especially when Rashford's status within the English media is almost Mr. Untouchable, for him to get called out like that, it's bad. A lot of fans, United fans, have been talking about it for a while. I like Rashford. There was definitely an improvement yesterday, I felt, Kev, but it was still a below average performance. I'll give him an improvement. He ran around a bit more and he played a simple pass every now and again, but it was an improvement, but it still wasn't good enough. I think we can all sit here and say how bad he is, but this talk about he's not happy with not playing first team football, played terribly on Sunday, a leak about leaving, starts the game yesterday. That's clearly no punishment. Doesn't really produce the goods. How do we get the best out of Rashford? Because to be honest, we've had a chat about maybe Mata being there. So it's not like we've got loads of options. He may well start on Tuesday. What is the issue? How do we get the best of him? What's the long-term plan?
Well, the whole point that you've just mentioned, that should we kind of play Mata instead of Rashford, tells you everything you need to know about Marcus Rashford at the minute. It just sums up where he is as a footballer and where his career has gone. What he's done off the field, absolutely unbelievable, and everybody will always respect that. But it has always caught Manchester United fans. You're always caught in the middle. It's almost like, well, you can't criticise him because he's done all this work off the field, the kids, feeding the kids and that. Fair enough, I get that. It's great. But sometimes you have to step back and just go, can we just put this, can we divide that? Separate the two things. Yeah. He's a footballer for Manchester United. We know United
greats. Yeah. We know United greats from around the 99 and before that who were idolised and knobheads off the pitch. But it don't matter because it's what they do on the pitch.
All I care about is what he does on the pitch. And for the last, it's more than a year. On yesterday's fan forum, I think Jay actually asked me, he said, what did you make of Marcus Rashford's performance today? And even as a joke, I just said, oh, did he play today? And that's what I thought of Marcus Rashford yesterday, his performance. He is absolutely anonymous. I don't know what is wrong with him. His attitude and lack of running, like you've just said. People are picking up on that. And that is one of the main things of being a footballer. I don't mind if you're having a bad game, few off touches, few stray passes, but at least look interested and lively, get running about and that. And for some reason, Rashford doesn't look bothered. And listen, if PSG are stupid enough to think that they're going to lose Mbappe for free and they can buy Marcus Rashford, you can have him. I know he's a Manchester lad and all this, he's come through the academy. Is he really good enough for Manchester United at this moment in time? Has he improved as a footballer? I don't know. Some of these young lads, I just think that bless, they're given everything and they believe their own hype. And unfortunately, at this moment in time, I've seen nothing to suggest that Marcus Rashford has improved. Maybe you can put it down to the Solskjaer regime, which is quite upsetting because you look and think we probably just wasted 3 years under Solskjaer where nobody we've not improved as a team. Individuals haven't improved. Maybe you can look at it a bit like that. But again, if PSG want to offer money for Marcus Rashford, I'd take
Rashford. I don't know who put out there. They are not buying Rashford. No chance.
You never know. They might do. I think the funny thing is the reason he's linked to PSG is because Pochettino wanted him. That's true.
That tells you everything. Yeah.
That's true. A year ago, PSG were looking at Rashford, and he was the manager, Pochettino. But Adam, I've got to ask you this because it's a mate of yours. Now, don't laugh. I'm telling you now, don't laugh at this because I'll be proved right. Don't laugh. We'd be better off with Dan James. I'm telling you.
Yeah, no, well,
you probably would be better off, wouldn't he, on the right hand side?
No, he wouldn't. I've watched Dan James recently with Spurs. He's been an absolute disgrace, Dan James, and that so-called work rate that he brings, he's just not bringing at all. He's where he belongs in a relegation fight. Dan James, he should have never been a United player. He was sussed out straight away. Good start and then disappeared. Rashford, we knew what Rashford's qualities were. He's on big occasions before. He's really come through for us. he's completely lost his way. And I agree on the work rate. I didn't watch much today. I didn't watch the highlights later. It was, for me, there was a moment with Rashford where Dalot had the ball in the second half and he was running down the wing. I'm like asking Rashford there, and everyone in the crowd's like, you can feel your hands pointing. Go down, overlap for him. He was on the halfway line. He had a whole half to run into. He stopped. Dalot ran past him, then passed it back to Rashford, who went right inside. I'm thinking, why are you there? Why are you there? That just pretty much summed up
made a good tackle on Sancho.
He did. He got in the way of Sancho. I've seen that. You know what? That actually brought some smiles and laughs actually from the crowd that moment. It was just like, dear God, it can't get any worse. It can't for him. And you know what? At the end, it was like a moment when he applauded the whole stadium. I've not seen this before from him. He actually turned around and made the effort to actually just turn to every stand and applaud the fans. And I don't know what that means. I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's trying to find his way back or trying to find his rapport back. But it starts
he just understands social media, doesn't he? He understands popularity and he understands trying to keep the fans happy. I think that's what it is. And got no problem with that.
He is a social media man, isn't he now? That's the problem. And like you
he was
said,
subbed quite early as well, wasn't he? I think he was subbed quite early.
He needed to be, though. He needed to be because Ranić seen the issue, and I think that's why he came off earlier.
He needs to look at Sancho. He needs to look at Sancho and Sancho's decision making and overall effort. He's got two friends at the club, Lingard and Sancho. Right now, he's in the Lingard camp. He needs to get over onto the Sancho camp. His decision making is so bad. But, I think you're right. He hasn't been coached under Ollie. And I feel like if somebody comes in, he's got all the fundamentals to still have a good career at this club. But he really is at a crossroads. He can go one or two ways. I think they're trying to play him into form. I think that's why they keep starting him. But for me, I would drag him out of that team.
You can see.
What is he, 24 now, Rashford?
Getting on now.
Very quickly, because we're getting towards the end of the show. We'll stick people on the spot here. I was going to say 3 years. 2 years' time, where is Marcus Rashford? And what's he doing? Jordan.
Everton.
Oh, okay.
Replacement for Calvert-Lewin.
Adam?
Still at United because I know he's running this football club. He's, I think we've seen a few of these summer camp Ollie mode players still at this football club. And this next manager is going to be key for Rashford, but I still believe Rashford will be there because he's front and centre of everything sponsorship for this football club. So
too valuable to the club, isn't he?
Yeah.
Got 10 million followers on Instagram. 10 million. Kev, what do you think?
Stockport County. Selling the pies. Not even playing for him.
He'll never be doing that. Never be doing that. He's got book deals and all sorts. He's
got a new contract due next season. Yeah. So that's going to be...
sign it.
I agree with Adam, actually. I think he'll still be at Manchester United, and it certainly will not be down to anything down to performance related. It will be the way that Manchester United have been over the last few years, pure scattergun. The way that they've been with Jesse Lingard, they've let Pogba's contract run down. Now they're panicking. We'll give you 400 grand a week. We'll give you 500 grand a week. Players now are just... on a spreadsheet, it's the money that they might lose. They're an asset to the club, and that's all it is. It's not like, oh well, Pogba, he's not irreplaceable, is it? It's just from United's point of view, they're like, shit, we spent 90 million on this guy. We could get that back for him, but we can't now because we're going to lose him for free, kind of thing. So,
but the only thing is, guys, is that he's already making noise about not playing enough football, and if he doesn't improve, then someone's going to have to make a decision about him moving on. So I don't think he'll just sit on the bench. He wants to play football. He's just not at the moment playing good enough to play.
Do you reckon the next manager position and the board are actually thinking what manager actually suits some of these poster boy players as well?
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's it.
Yeah.
This is why they'll go for Poch, Harry Maguire. Marcus Rashford. They're all going to be players that he wants to use and they can give new contracts to. And that was going to be my answer. I think he will 100% be at United in 2 years' time. He'll 100% get the contract he wants. And that is why they're going for Pochettino as well, because United are not thinking about football. If this was Pep or Klopp, I think Rashford, I would be saying, he's probably gone in 2 years. He's not here because that's a footballing decision. But Poch is not a footballing decision. Rashford won't be a footballing decision. Maguire won't be a footballing decision. We won't make footballing decisions. We'll make brand decisions. And it's a shame. I like Rashford. I think there's a good player there. But I don't think United's the environment to get it out of him at the moment. I don't. Yeah. I think United's as bad for him. No one says this, actually. I think United's as bad for Rashford as it is for us. I think that his development has stalled. He's 24. Yeah, you're right, Kev. I think he's 25 this year. I can't believe that. I still think of him as 21 because at 21, I think he's the same player he is now. He's better. Yeah. And I thought, in the next 3 years, he's going to develop. He's going to sort his final ball out, his decision-making. And by the time he's 24, 25, he will be the player that I think he can be. But that hasn't happened. He's not been given that development because he's been under Ollie, who's not a proper coach. So it's been bad for him as well. I'd be pissed off if I was him.
When you look at the hype surrounding Marcus Rashford, Cristiano Ronaldo left Manchester United at 24 years of age. So that's the same age that Rashford is now. And he went to Real Madrid and hit the ground running, record breaker, all-time top goal scorer at Real Madrid.
That, Kev, you nailed it there. It's like, you said it there, social media player there. And I said before, except Ronaldo come in or embrace it, there's a man there that's got 421 million followers on Instagram, and he's holding the club up with his performances. That's your standard right there in terms of individual and how an individual should look at it. He's 37, for God's sake. You know what I mean? Yeah. He is a problem for us in that sense that these players now, the way we've let this club get to, and these players get their feet under the table, that Ronaldo's a problem.
I remember when I was there. I remember about 2 or 3 years ago, I was on Twitter and someone was quite a few people were comparing Rashford to Ronaldo and saying that he scored more goals at this age than Ronaldo did. And people were going, oh, yeah, he's great. And I went, look, Rashford's a really good player, but comparing him to Ronaldo is ridiculous. I actually got a reply from his management team Twitter account. I can't remember what it was. And I'm not saying it was aggressive or anything like that, but it was sort of, I was being queried for saying he's nowhere near the level of Ronaldo. Because at that, and what I'm saying is at that time, people were genuinely starting to compare him to Ronaldo. And, 3 years later, I always thought he was a good player. I can't believe that how much it's dropped off. And it's very sad. And I still keep expecting him just to click, but there's something not right there.
Big. He could have been United's all-time leading goal scorer.
He still could be, but if he hangs around long enough, but we'll see.
He's just dropped off too far. That's the worry.
Yeah, big game on Tuesday. We'll see what happens.